Did you know that there are a lot of custom Rhythm Heaven levels out there? You probably did, but I'm about to give you a personal list of the top 10 Heaven Studio levels coming from somebody who has played hundreds of them on stream. Before we get to my top 10, let's sort a few things out. First of all, this is an impossible list. It's completely subjective. You're going to see that a lot of these picks are biased towards my own taste in music and just style, and you could have a completely different top 10 list, and I would love to hear it. Secondly, I have excluded levels that include custom textures or sprites, mainly for the convenience of having just a standard level pack to share with you guys in case you want to check out this top 10 list. But if this video does well, I would love to include some custom sprite levels in a future top 10 video. All right, let's get started. Has music ever put you in a state of hypnosis or deep relaxation? If there's one video game I can attest to giving that experience, it's Tetris Effect. And the way Prath7 translates Tetris Effect's main song into a Rhythm Heaven level is nothing short of mesmerizing. You need to play this level in a dark room with your headphones on. What I absolutely love about this level is how every note just has such an impact, and it can be really hard to chart a slower paced song like Connected Yours Forever from the Tetris Effect soundtrack, but the way they do it, it's such a less is more mentality, but every note has such a gut punch of immersion to the actual song. There's so much synchronization happening. Like every time Karate Joe punches a pot, it matches with like the explosion of sound in the song. I mean, this level gives me literal chills. It's also one of the longest levels on this list. There's also this incredible double date charting near the very end of the level that I absolutely love between the basketball and the football. It just adds this really nice cadence to the outro beat. And yeah, that has stuck with me forever. But anyway, if you've never played Tetris Effect, first of all, play that game. And second of all, play this Rhythm Heaven level because it's one of my favorites. Coming in at number 9, and this is just a feel-good level. Stay, the Kid Laroi charted by Beam. This is such an unexpected track to appear in my top 10, but it just goes so hard. Okay, and first of all, I'm a sucker for any 4:3 ratio. So I love the 4:3 VHS music video style that Beam is going for here. It's very nostalgic. It's just a great aesthetic. I feel like Beam's charting is always extremely fair, but fun at the same time to where you're very much engaged with the inputs, you know, always on the pulse, you know, not too easy, but just right. And it just fits right in that sweet spot of enjoyment for me. Also, this level has the perfect Glee Club section that syncs up with the vocals in the pre-chorus, doing the, oh, whoa, oh, whoa. So yeah, great Glee Club section. I also love how at the final chorus, you finally get the pan out into widescreen that kind of opens it up. This is just a pop song charted right. This is the blueprint for me. And if you want to chart a level that's fair but fun and engaging, just study Beam's levels because they do a really good job of that. Number 8 is another very biased pick for me. I'm a big fan of Knower and Lewis Cole tracks, and this Overtime level by Zane and Drago goes absolutely hard. I love the charting. I love the visual effects that Drago brings into the mix here. I absolutely love the impact effects when Karate Joe punches on the bass drum. I feel like when Drago is VFXing a level, they are always listening to the bass. And I just love when level charters sync the bass hits with their visual effects because it adds so much immersion. Overtime by Knower, this is just an incredibly funky track. I think the level does it justice. There's a lot of great vocal syncopation happening with the Dazzles and even Dog Ninja. And Zane does a great job of syncopating a lot of the notes with the vocals in a way that doesn't feel forced. It flows naturally with the music, and the charting is just so good. You can tell it's not trying to be too busy, and it often does take breaks in between lyrical lines. You know, like whenever the song takes a break, the level will also take a break, and I think that's just really nice. But yeah, for a band whose music often evokes like such a surreal nature, if you think about it, Rhythm Heaven is very much in the same vein, and so I think the Knower Rhythm Heaven combination works so well. Great level all around. I have played a lot of levels by Vincels, but this is the one that always sticks out in the back of my mind. And here we have, yes, Windows XP Era Remix, charted by Vincels. This level is so creative. I love kind of the pseudo joke nature of this level, but also being like charted incredibly well and fun. And yeah, just look at this. I mean, it's even more impressive when you realize this came out before, you know, the Bobby build where we have all the use of decals and importing images. Yeah, no, this is made strictly with the caption editor. So having the Windows XP overlay was such a cool thing to experience the first time I played this. And, you know, all the glitches and visual bugs that Vincels puts into the level intentionally just adds so much wit and humor that's kind of unparalleled for me. Like, I don't know if I've played a level this good that is both a banger and hilarious. And I also love how the level ends in a blue screen of death. That's just the cherry on top. But yeah, if you've never played Windows XP Era Remix, this is one for the books. I'm starting to notice that my list actually contains very few 2025/Bobby build levels. That trend is going to continue with number 6 on this list. Good Bounce, charted by Crispy. Now we're getting into really the first intense level of the top 10. This one is fast-paced, in your face. The first time I played this, my jaw dropped. And the intense nature of the song pairs so well with the intense visual effects. I love how Crispy uses the tile function to shrink the gameplay, and then the moment you see your screen start flashing in every other direction, I was like, dude, this hits different. And it's a great gimmick too, honestly, like shrinking down the gameplay and tiling it, and there's also lots of cool scrolling effects happening, especially at the drop when you start to see the level literally start bouncing along. It's literally so cool. And that's not to mention that the charting is really advanced too. You have to be laser focused in on this one. But yeah, even with the higher difficulty, I think it's not too unfair. I think, you know, you can hear the audio cues clearly. I think call and response fares really well when the VFX are really heavy, because at least you always have that audio cue in your ear, regardless of what's happening on the screen, right? But yeah, I absolutely love the shoot 'em up sections. For one, I think shoot 'em up is really the star of this level. Really shoot 'em up in Lockstep, because Lockstep gets all the crazy visual effects, I guess. It doesn't overstay its welcome either. You know, it's a pretty breezy 2-minute level. And yeah, this one puts a shot of adrenaline in you. I think this is a must play. It's not very hard to find out that I am a huge Daft Punk fan. Their album, Human After All, was the first album I purchased on iTunes with my own money. I don't know, when I was like 12. But another French producer who often gets overlooked in that same era is Danger. Danger had these series of EPs that were so gritty, mysterious, but so infectious. But what's really cool about Danger is where Daft Punk contributed to a movie soundtrack, Danger went full head on into the video game soundtrack space. And this is one game I've never actually played, but the Subspace Commando charted 624 from the Fury soundtrack. But oh my gosh, dude, this song is so incredible. And this chart perfectly matches the level of cinema that just shivers through my ears when I listen to this. I would put this level in the same category as the Tetris Effect level. You really need to be strapped in for this. This is a level that requires your full attention. It's also another one of the longer levels on the list, but man, every second of this level just had me clinging for more. And of course it's biased because I feel very nostalgic about Danger's music. I love Danger's music, but yeah, don't let that undercut what Subspace Commando has done with this chart. The chart is absolutely intense. They tend to take a liking for lots of bright and vibrant neon colors, so this level is very loud. It completely matches the tone. There's this rhythm rally section that just like completely syncopates to this ascending synthesizer sequence. When you're actually playing it, man, you feel like you're a part of a movie. And then finally, when you think the energy can't get any higher, it breaks down into this insane dog ninja pattern. It goes full on triplet mode. And yeah, once you play it for yourself, you realize this is actually peak. Probably the most underrated level on this list, if I had to be honest. Coming into the number 4 spot here, y'all are gonna love that this is another truly biased pick, but Caro Caro Bonito Trampoline. First of all, this song, dude, it just goes so hard for no reason. It's like injecting pure joy into your veins, and the way Nikita channels the song's energy into their custom level is absolutely brilliant. Right off the bat, for a song about jumping on a trampoline, I absolutely love the use of Seesaw and Tram and Pauline in back-to-back continuance. Chef's Kiss theming wise, I absolutely love that. They just give off such a fun, bouncy energy, no pun intended. And yeah, I'm definitely a huge KKB fan. Like, this is just peak music for me. And I just love the lyrics, find your rhythm, momentum is the key. Because I feel like that's so true for like, it's like speaking to the rhythm gamer, like playing the Rhythm Heaven level. It feels like this song was made for this level in a way. But yeah, man, I am such a sucker for just a really feel good, you know, serotonin inducing fun time level. Like, this is just the way to do it. And when that key change hits, bro, when the key change hits, But yeah, shout out to Tram and Pauline. I feel like you will never get another level that themes with this game as well as Trampoline KKB does. Like, this is the actual perfect use of this minigame. So yeah, Tram and Pauline fans, you're winning today. And also, Blue Bear is such a great pick for this game because, you know, Blue Bear is such a sensitive character. You know, they have so many emotions. But of course, you know, one of their best emotions is when they're smiling. And I just love to see a Rhythm Heaven character smiling while I'm also like got the biggest grin on my face. It's like, yeah, I totally understand how you feel, Blue Bear. This song is a banger. And I also know how it feels to be alone. The first time earlier this year, I played the indie demo for Mindwave. And once you finally advance to Starlight's boss level and this song starts playing, dude, you have an instant banger on your hands. So when I found out that Zeogal had charted a full Although the Sky level in Heaven Studio, I knew we were in for a banger. And Zeo does not disappoint. I'm actually shocked to realize this is the first level in my top 10 that uses Bobby Bill decals. But man, what a fantastic use of decals, animating the full visual identity of Mindwave as a transition between levels. Of course, this is not the first Heaven Studio level to play off of this WarioWare style, but the way that Zeo uses decals to translate the Mindwave gameplay loop into a Rhythm Heaven level, it's just so seamless that you don't even notice it. I love the way each minigame is introduced with a win condition, like for Karate Man, punch. Or, you know, for Crop Stomp, it's stomp or eat. And I love the attention to detail of the timer in the bottom as well, counting down as like how much time you have to complete the micro game. Even though in this case, it's a rhythm game, right? So it's like, you just have to hit the notes, but it honestly feels like, you know, the pressure's on for you to complete this game in time. And then finally, everything comes to a climax at the bridge of the song where you get this full cutscene of Pandora, the main character, who's finally made it to the boss stage. And this is the first time that you get consecutive minigames in a row. And I just love the way that we kind of take that for granted in most levels. You know, it's become pretty common in custom Rhythm Heaven levels to just have multiple minigames, but I like how in this level, it's reserved for the boss stage. And I just think that's really charming. But yeah, peak VFX usage. And I'm just a really big fan of Mindwave, so I had to put this in my top 3. Go wishlist Mindwave and play the demo, by the way. I'm looking forward to that. Also, if I had to comment on any of the actual charting here, I would say the Monkey Watch goes really hard. You know, hitting the claps on beats 2 and 4 just feels so in the pocket, especially at this tempo. I also love the vocal syncopation of the lockstep section. That was really tasteful. But okay, we're down to the top 2. Guys, this was such a hard decision for me to make. Even though I said that this list is completely subjective, this is just for fun. When it came to the top 2, I really had to think about it. But these top 2 are both the most deserving of the entire list. And personally, I think this top 2 should be undisputed. That's why I put David Kayet's Virus Alert at the number 2 spot. Now look, I've seen a lot of Weird Al remixes in Rhythm Heaven, and I think that's a great combination of fandoms. You know, it's like the weirdest video game and the weirdest musician combining into one. It's perfect. But oh my gosh, I never imagined that Virus Alert would become a Rhythm Heaven level. I don't know what it is, but holy crap, the decals on this level. This is by far the best Bobby build level I've ever played, purely from a visual standpoint. This honestly feels like a music video. There are so many little hidden details throughout this level. There is so much lyrical play, so much visual identity that translates back to the original music video for Virus Alert. I was so stunned. You can't even capture it all in one playthrough. You got to play this multiple times or just watch the video multiple times to even get everything out of this level. The way that David plays off of Weird Al's jokes and inserts them as visual gags in the level, like when the paint peels off your walls on Lockstep, who thinks of that, man? That is so genius. I absolutely love the way he plays with your expectations, and you just never know what's going to pop on screen next. I love the way he converts Philbots into like a bathtub with the curtain on the right. That is so good. There's just like so many ways I would have thought to reinvent a Rhythm Heaven game, and he just adds so much of his own identity into it. And of course, having sick beats be at the chorus of Virus Alert fits so well. But literally, like, there's not enough words I can say to gush about the visual identity of this level and the way David just swoops into Heaven Studios' Bobby build and completely tears it to shreds. Like I don't know what David's background is, but he's very clearly an experienced editor at the least. And yeah, I had to gush a little bit when he told me that it was because of my video that he discovered the Bobby build and made this level. So listen, man, I take no credit in what you've made here. I literally had no part to do with it, but you finding my video. But I just want to say, I'm glad our circles crossed because this deserved to be made and you did a phenomenal job. This is the best level made in the Bobby build so far, and I just think it's going to be really hard to top this going forward. But how could a level without using any Bobby build decals become #1 on this list?
You've got exactly what you want.
You already know what level this is. Femtinel's Push Your Temper, charted by i2e, laughs in the face of limitation. This level defies all odds of what I thought could be in a Rhythm Heaven level. And for all of this to be achieved in a build of the game without the use of decals, now in hindsight, like, this was incredible before, but even now that we have so many more tools to work with VFX, like, I'm sure i2e is like slamming their head against the desk now that we have so many more tools. But oh my gosh, the effort that went into this. I know for a lot of people, this level literally put them on to Femtinel's music. I'm one of those people. But yeah, as I mentioned when talking about Crispy's Good Bounce level, which also uses the visual trickery of tiling the level and then also using the black character captions to frame by frame animate different tiles appearing and disappearing. i2e takes that to a completely exponential level where by the end of the level, they are fully detail animating, you know, the face of Femtinel. I mean, I think my first time reaction speaks for itself here.
I'm just here to push your temper, put me in my grave.
Whoa! The only downside is now that if you want to play this level, you still need to use an older build of Heaven Studio because it's a little bit bugged out for some reason in the new Bobby build. So don't play this on Bobby build. If you happen to have a nightly build of Heaven Studio, that's going to be the most optimal way to play this level. Kind of unfortunate, but yeah, I definitely recommend getting the right build just to play this because it is an experience. And you know, obviously with so much visual fidelity going on a level unseen before, I'm actually happy that the charting is, for the most part, incredibly simple. Most of the time in this level, you are simply keeping the beat on each 1, 2, 3, and 4, but there is some variation mixed in as well. And I promise you, like, you're not even going to be thinking about it while experiencing the level, right? Because it's just like, this is a movie. You are in a movie when playing this. It is so intense. Let's also just appreciate the caption work from the lyrical standpoint. You have lyrics swooping in from every direction, animated in different fonts to match the tone. I mean, bruh. i2e has Heaven Studio mastered. This is easily still the most ambitious Heaven Studio level made, and I cannot wait to find out what sort of horrors i2e is going to conjure with the Bobby build, because I know that they are working on a new level and they are months into that, and I am both terrified and excited to see what they put out next. And so that's my top 10 levels in Heaven Studio. What did you think of my picks? Obviously, I could not even factor for every level I have played. I am beyond confident there are levels I forgot to even consider because there are so many hundreds of levels that I have played. So yes, please let me know what your top 10 would be. I'm also going to leave a level pack folder of the top 10 levels below. So if you want to try any of these levels, feel free. And if you enjoyed this video format, definitely let me know because I'd love to do another one of these. So yeah, I can't wait to hear your discussions below in the comments. And until the next video, keep your rhythm up.